Hey, welcome to another Valley Forged. Today we're talking about keychains, and I put together a little group of keychains for, ready for Lightburn, but we're going to also show you that you can make these on your own, or at least a lot of them. So either way you want to go, there's a link down in the description. If you just want to go to Etsy and get it, I'll put it for something really cheap. And these are just things that have really done well for me, especially these cork chains, as I call them. Literally, and you could do it in wood and acrylic. Now, some of you thinking, oh, I can't do acrylic on my diode laser. Just go watch my video on that. In fact, I'll put that down below as well. This actually was made from acrylic I got from Craft Closet, and it works great on diode lasers. It's made for diode lasers, and so you do two sides. So I'm going to explain everything in the video. Like I said, both how you can just download them or do them yourselves, and why I do these particular ones. Whether you're brand new to lasers or you've been doing this forever, this is very useful information. I can almost guarantee it's going to help you somehow. First of all, the corgi. These are little corgi butts, and believe me, animal stuff. You see I have the yin yang kitty keychain here as well. Animal stuff, everybody loves it. So whether you're going to sell it, like I do, I've sold well over 1,000 of these corgi chains, and $5 a piece. It's always a great little thing for people to take away. People love them. They smile. It makes them happy. So it's just a win-win all the way around. Easy to do in all kinds of wood for your scraps. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. This is, I sometimes make these Lord's Prayer crosses you saw in my last video. And people love them. I can't make enough. But what happens is I end up with a whole bunch of scrap. And so on those scrap pieces, this is what I make. I'll make my cord chains. I'll make these yin yang kitties. And you can see the two-tone acrylic. I did a video on this, the genius of two-tone acrylic. Just wonderful. So easy to do. It's unbelievable how easy it is to do. And so I put a blank one here in case you want to make your own. But these are very simple to do with the two-tone acrylic, especially the orange one I think looks really good. And I'll put a video up showing why, but you see how I have these corgi chains, they're mirrored. And the reason that is because when you do the way that it's made to work here, and I'm just going to show you in Lightburn, you cut out the two, you do the full file as it is, the two of them, right? And then you turn off the cut lines. So right now we have red as a cut line. You just turn that off, and then you make sure that you have this put down with magnets or whatever you want to use. I like to use those little door holders for cars. They're so good. They work so well. But whatever you do, you want to make sure it doesn't move at all. And then you're going to cut it out. Then you're going to turn off the cutting. So all it's going to do is engrave. And then you're going to flip it around. So you put the one on the right on the left and the one on the left on the right. That makes it the backside, right? And then you just do it again. So you're just doing the engraving. And then you've got a two-sided keychain. In fact, I think I showed you this particular one, this exact one, and you can see on both sides it's exactly the same, and it looks great. Now, those of you with a CO2 laser, you could do it with a clear acrylic, like a clear pink or a clear orange. They look really nice. If not, just use your scraps. Doesn't cost you any extra, and people will love them, even if you're just giving them away as gifts. Now, the thing that I like to do with my scraps the most, and that is make these round tuits. And it says right on the top, you finally got around to it. And no more excuses. And on the back side, I have my email address. So this is basically my business card these days. People just absolutely love them. I have never seen one left behind. Nobody ever throws them away. It's just, they may give it to somebody else. And for those of you that sell your goods, when somebody comes by and they're like, hey, I'm going to come back around at the end of the show or something like that, you hand them one of these and you say, all right, when you get around to it, you know, something fun. It just really keeps things light. And I do this because I enjoy it. So I'm trying to make as much fun as I can out of things. Maybe this is why I sell the Lord's Prayer crosses, and I sell the corgi butts, and I sell the kitties, and I give away these round tuits, because all of them bring joy to the people who love them. And so it ends up just being a win-win. And, you know, selling something where your customer's like, yeah, I'll buy it just because I have to have it. You know, it's a different feeling. And so maybe I gravitate towards things like that, which is in contrast, I guess, to the Bates Motel. But honestly, people laugh when they see these as well. I don't sell them so much, but I did want to explain. I learned how to make these from Rich, the Louisiana hobby guy. I end up mentioning him in almost all my videos for one reason or another. I think it's pretty funny. But I actually made this, and he taught me how. So I took that blank and I made this Wigwam Motel Route 66. I left a blank one here for anybody that wants it. But if you want to go, and I highly suggest you do, just go ahead and go learn how to make this. And I will put that as a link in the down below in the description as well. And then you can go learn how to do this yourself. It looks complicated, but you know, Rich explains it pretty well. I was able to do it, and I'm not, you know, I know how to use Lightburn, but I wouldn't call myself an expert. And when it comes to these round tuits, like again, I highly suggest you make them and give them away using your scraps. You can just come over to the text and you change the text to whatever you want it to be, and it will be slightly different than this. So you can just grab this, pull it up and down to make it match the bottom here. It's not difficult to do. And then you will have your own calling card. And so once you get this, as I say with everything that I make, settings are everything. Don't just go in here and think that whatever settings pop up are going to be the correct settings. They might be. They probably won't be. So make sure you test, test, test. And then you know what is engraving, what is cutting, and make sure you have your right speeds. You know, maybe just do one of them, test it out, make sure it's correct. You see up here on the upper right hand, it says multi. And maybe if you're new with lasers, you won't completely understand what that means. So I want to show you real quick. This means, you know, when Lightburn upgraded, they made it to where you can just do everything in one layer. So if you double click on this, go up to C01, you double click, it's going to show you what you're seeing here on the screen. And you will see here's the fill line. So you can check your settings here. So I've got it at 20,000 and 100% power. Then you can see the line. Now this is going to be the line after your engraving. So your fill here is your engrave, and then it's going to make a line around that after it. It just tends to make it look a little more crisp on the edges. So that I have at 5,000 at 20% power. Now, depending on your laser, if it is depending on how fast it can go and still keep that line perfect. So if you're wondering why don't you just do 20,000 at 100% power? That would be about the same, right? Yes, but if it's moving that fast, it has to be deadly accurate. Very few lasers can move that fast. Diode lasers especially can move that fast and still be super accurate. So I low down the speed. I think 6,000 millimeters per minute and below are good for most diode lasers. They're very accurate as long as you stay under that. Some lasers, of course, the newer ones can handle it at a much faster speed, but better to be sorry than safe. I mean, You get it. You get me. So that's where your line's going to be. So it'll fill and then leave a line around the outside. That is what the multi is. Now you could change this if you want to. Go ahead and you just go to the line and then you can hit this minus sign up here and it will get rid of that. And then you can just have it like the rest of them. You don't need the line after engrave, but I just think it works really well. So I wanted to add that. And, you know, I want everybody to learn something a little bit new in every video I do. And I think working with these files, you are going to learn something. Now with the yin yang kitties, you can see here, I have made the hole for the loop right here in the ear. So this is totally adjustable. If you find that this thickness, the wall thickness is too thin or too thick, you could just grab it and maybe move it down a little bit. I've found for my laser that actually is the perfect spot. These are absolutely gorgeous. And this is how they should look when they're finished. Another thing, for those of you that have stuck around to this point, every single thing here, all of these can be turned into coasters. Now, with the corgis, basically, you could just take one corgi, you could put a big circle around it or a square around it, and you will have a coaster. And they're adorable. So just change this line here to an outline, right? So cut the power way down, and it's just going to make an outline, and then you'll have the engrave. And then you've got a really nice corgi coaster that you can sell as well. With the yin yang kitties, it's a little different because they're around already. You might as well just make them the coaster. So all you got to do is make this bigger and change the ear to the same as the rest of these lines, like the green one. And once you do that, you've got a coaster. Just make it as big as 3.75 inches is what I use for my coasters. But, you know, 4-inch could be a standard coaster as well. Just go up to here, make sure this is locked. Instead of 1.5 inches, you say 4 inches. And now you've got a coaster. And you can do this with a lot of the files you have. Now you can also turn this into an earring. Maybe you make it just a little bit smaller. It just depends on what your laser can handle as far as how small it can get with good detail. But I do make earrings. Many of you have probably seen these on my channel. I have made both the coasters and the earrings from this file, and they sell wonderfully. And it's kind of nice when somebody could see, oh, I can get the earrings, I could get the coaster, and I could get the keychain, you know, all for my friend who loves cats or whatever, you know? And the same thing with the corgis. So for the people who have been making things for a long time, this is a nice accessory that you can have with the rest of your things. It makes great gifts. For those of you who are new, this is the perfect beginner project. You're not going to waste a ton of wood making this. And it kind of teaches you a lot of the different things you need to know when you're doing your own projects. And so once you get these down, you've got a lot of settings down, and that will transfer over to many things. So I hope that kind of explains it. I will make another video if there's any questions or things that I haven't explained. But I think this file will work really well for you. If you have any problems with the file itself, you can just message me in Etsy if it's not working correctly. But if you have trouble, you know, I don't know how to do this or how to do that, just leave a message below here in the video, and I want everybody to see it. So maybe I can help everyone or more people that have that question. And, you know, if there's enough questions about something, I'll make another video to cover that. So with all that being said, I want to see how did you change these? How did you make these? How did they work for you? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear back. And maybe write a review on Etsy if things worked out well. If they didn't, let me know so I can change it. And send some pictures on there as well. So I will see you. Let me know what else you would like to see. I mean, it's Christmas time here. I'm just having fun making different things. So let me know. And I will see you all in the next one. Love y'all.